Alrighty, guys. So remember when the DCU, when James Gunn announced all the initial projects, Booster Gold, Paradise Lost, Lantern, Supergirl, Superman, etc., etc. But then we started to get more announcements about other projects that might be coming out in the DCU. In fact, we haven't really gotten official announcements other than maybe Clayface, for example. But there have been other projects that major sources like Variety, Deadline, Hollywood Reporter have reported are in development, including a Bane and Deathstroke movie, the aforementioned Clayface movie, and another movie, Sergeant Rock, which was actually teased in Creature Commandos. And so, Sergeant Rock is a character who lives in, I believe it's World War II. Yeah, no, it is World War II because of G.I. Robot. I take that back. It is definitely World War II. For those who have seen Creature Commandos, you'll know exactly why G.I. Robot, led me to remember that this was World War II. But anyways, so Sergeant Rock was a character who is just a war general. And from my understanding, this is a character who doesn't really have superpowers, but is just a general, Sergeant Rock in the DCU. And so they were moving ahead with a movie directed by Luca Guadagnino, who made Queer and who made Challengers, right? He's done some good work over the past couple years. And notably, we did a segment a while ago saying that reports were saying that Daniel Craig had signed on to play Sergeant Rock. And so, that was the assumption going forward. And there was not a lot that was heard about this project, honestly, for the next little while. We've heard more about Clayface, we've heard more about Supergirl, a little bit about Bane and Deathstroke, and other projects moving forward in the DCU. But Sergeant Rock has been kind of quiet. So then, the other day, we got a report now that Daniel Craig has actually dropped out of the DCU project. Now, the article goes on to elaborate on this a little more, saying that he actually never officially committed to signing on for the project. And so when the news first broke, this was in December, I think the assumption now is that he probably loosely agreed to do it, or at least was interested in doing it. So then the article goes on to say that this is a project that DC co-chiefs James Gunn and Peter Safran are excited about as a straightforward war picture, and see it as a chance, I'm just reading directly from the Variety article, see it as a chance to demonstrate the wide breadth of content they intend to make under the DC banner. They are already seeking another actor for the title role. So it's a bummer, right? Because Daniel Craig is a phenomenal actor. I love him as, Benoit Blanc in the Knives Out film. Cannot wait for the third one coming out, Wake Up Dead Man, that will be debuting later this year. So it's a bummer, right? Because it's a bummer whenever you lose talent like this, where, I always say you want to get the best actors, you want to get the best, people, best personnel in for the roles, because the better, the cast is, the better the kind of people are that you're having make your films, the better chance, you're going to have a good film, and getting more talented people is never a bad thing. So I think that it's a bummer that they, Daniel Craig, was not interested in pursuing the role. I think on the other hand, perhaps Daniel Craig felt a little reticent. He just came off of James Bond a few years ago, and that was a 5-film commitment. And so maybe he just felt, I don't really want to commit myself to another cinematic universe. It seems like Sergeant Rock, is a maybe a more isolated character in terms of at least time period. So I don't know if they do a Sergeant Rock franchise or whatnot, maybe depending on how good the first film is, because it seems, again, pretty isolated. But, maybe that actually, maybe it's the opposite. Maybe Daniel Craig really wants to have a franchise of his own, and he wants to play another character. So we'll see how that goes. But it looks like Daniel Craig never officially, signed on the dotted line. It's not like he's backing out of a commitment he made. It just seems like, he decided, hey, I might have been interested in this role, and now I'm not anymore. And so the DCU, I'm not going to go as far to say that it's lost an actor for a role. I'm just going to say that, it could have had Daniel Craig in one of the titular roles for one of its upcoming movies, and now it doesn't anymore. And I think that as long as they get another good actor to fill that role, then I think all will be well. But it's a bummer, and I hope that Daniel Craig will see him again in either the MCU, he was going to cameo in Multiverse of Madness, but decided not to, or the DCU, either one for main roles. That would be really great. Guys, what do you think of the news that Daniel Craig is no longer going to be playing Sergeant Rock in the DCU? Let me know in the comments down below.